Hello again. We are Geeks Assembled. You should all know that by now, because that's how we always start the show. Um, I'm Lee. This is Susan. We're sitting down again on a regular weekend slot to record these. And this week we're discussing a 1955 sci-fi movie, which we would class nowadays as a B movie, classic B movie, monster movie. This is about a scientist who's trying to create a nutritional science, science nutritional for the future, for nutrition for the future. And by this, he's experimenting on animals, like we did in the olden days, and sometimes we still do, I think. We are talking. This movie is Tarantula. As this one of his experiments escapes and wreaks havoc. So, Susan, Tarantula, over to you.
All right. Well, back in film school, my partners and I did a movie about a man who was significantly insane and didn't realize that he was the one out killing people, was institutionalized and in one of the scenes, he had a nice sized tarantula that was sharing the cell with him and came over and walked up his arm and walked over his head and looked in his eyes and then walked down. And our lead actor had to be sort of a bit sedated to do that whole thing because the first time he was with the spider. He threw it across the studio, so we needed to get another one because he really hurt that one.
Mm.
And so tarantulas in movies are scary. Doesn't matter where. If it's scary to the actor, it sure as hell will be scary to the people. And this tarantula movie had plenty of scary bits. And it also had two different formats that I could watch it on. It was either black and white, the original,
Yeah.
or there was a colorized version. And did you have the colorized version on your DVD?
No, no, this is the original black and white, which I prefer to watch in the original
Yeah,
form.
yeah. So e- either way, it was great. It was gruesome. The scientist was played by Leo Carroll,
Mhm.
and then the one who is joining his study was Dr. Matt Hastings, played by John Agar, and then Mara Corday played Steve Clayton. Steve, short for Stephanie.
Yeah.
Don't know. I think that this was not supposed to be a female character. I don't remember anybody in the 50s or 60s being referred to as Steve who had a name Stephanie. They're all Steffi or Steph. It's a very strange nickname. And there was townspeople, and there was a bunch of law enforcement guys, mostly a sheriff and some lieutenants. Anyway, it was a really cool, gruesome story. The tarantula got out and didn't just stop growing to the size of the cage, which is what happened to all the other animals. They
Yeah.
just grow to the size of whatever cage they were being kept in and stop growing. This one didn't stop growing until at the very end, was just as big as a hill, just ginormous.
Well, it towered over the of the town, didn't it?
It did. It was as big as one of those little foothills for the
Yeah.
mountains. It was just gargantuan. And there was no stopping the growth because the growth formula had been spilled, and I don't know, there was nothing to hold the character in. The tarantula really was a character. Little little eyes really close together, big graspers, eater graspers, these things on the face,
Hmm.
and lots of fur. That's the thing with like the tarantula, is that not only are they big, but they have so much fur, it makes them even look bigger. And it makes them, when if you had one walking on your skin, you'd feel that fur. And that fur doesn't feel normal because of the amount of likes and stuff. It isn't, it's definitely not an easy thing to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I was just, yeah, there's lots to be said about this movie. It is a B movie because in some of the descriptions of B movies, they say that there has to be a bug. It has to be a really big bug. That's what B stands for, bug. But no, it also stands for monster.
Oh, bad.
Or yeah, or bat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we watched this, and um yeah, and part of the thing with this is that it's sort of takes place in a desert western place.
Arizona. It's supposed to be set in Arizona.
Yeah, so you're not near any great big cities, so there's none of that extra um infrastructure that could really help the situation. It just had free reign of the whole area.
Did you
And
recognize? Did you recognize any of that area because it was filmed in California?
it may have been filmed in California because
Mm.
that they can be used to represent one another,
Yeah.
Arizona and California. There's a lot of desert. My roommates in Cali were from the desert. They'd grown up in the desert, away from people. So yeah, this is a perfectly sort of a desolation feel.
Yeah.
Desolation and desperation. I mean, yeah. Uh, Enjoyed it. Thanks, Lee, for suggesting it. This was great. And well, what are your opening thoughts, Nate?
Yeah, this was just one of these things. I thought we hadn't done a B movie for a while, and this one was on the list. I thought, you know what, let's do Tarantula. And yeah, it's a simple story.
Mhm.
You know, scientist is trying to improve for the future by experimenting with this nutritional vaccine to provide for the future for mankind. Because he explains that the population by 1970 something will be so much, by the year 2000 it'll be so much.
They
Food.
were actually like a billion or two
Yeah,
shy by that point. I mean, it's just
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
But they
They
were,
thought it was, oh my gosh.
But yeah,
Go on.
say the scientist, um, Professor Deemer, played by Leo G. Carroll. I mean, great to see him in it because I just remember Leo G. Carroll playing Mr. Waverley in The Man from Uncle
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah, right.
as, as their boss. Yeah, but to see him doing that, yeah, and to see him going through what his two friends went through with the vaccine because he was injected with the way it was affecting him with his face, his swelling.
Oh
Um,
right.
yeah, and I never knew because this was. I mean, it must be true. I've said it, but there again, it is a B movie. I never knew that tarantulas were not venomous.
No, they're not.
I never knew that. I always thought there was. It was just it's the infections you get through the bites.
Or it is the way that they sort of cover where they're going for
Mm.
with like all that white goop that come they basically barf on you and then they start biting on you.
I
So,
think I think
it
most times,
isn't
yeah.
it isn't like a super kind of treatment of a prey. It's they have issues too.
Well,
I know what you're I think I know what you're going for, but
yeah.
yeah, they're not venomous, but they aren't sweethearts either.
But for me, what made this sort of stand out from all other types of B movies from the 50s was the way they used the real film of the spider
Uh-huh.
overlaid onto the film. So you could see you're walking down the mountains, and it's a real spider.
Hmm.
I mean, for that time in the 1950s, that must have been really effective when you were seeing it in the theaters.
Yeah, it was excellent special effects for the season.
Yeah. Even the makeup for the infected people,
Yeah.
all the gland swelling and all that. I mean, that was quite good for its time.
Mhm.
Um, I do have to say the sheriff, the doubting Thomas sheriff, he played by was it Nesta Parva? Um,
Uh-huh.
yeah, a typical back little town sheriff, but and a little sheriff trying to be a big man. Every time he was on screen, I was just thinking he's trying to walk like John Wayne. Was it the way he was moving? I thought he's trying to do a John Wayne, a hard man John Wayne sort of walk.
Hmm.
Um, so there was, I don't know if they did it on purpose for a little bit of comedic effect, or maybe that's what they were aiming for. I don't know, but yeah, the doubting Thomas sheriff because he seemed to be against the doctor all the
He
time.
did.
He wouldn't
He
really,
did.
I mean, the doctor was right from the beginning, played by
Yeah.
John Hager. Um, he was the hero, well, sort of the hero of the day. Well, no, the hero of the day was saved. The hero of the day was Clint Eastwood. Did you notice him?
In, in the jet, in the little
He was,
airplane
he
jet,
was
yeah,
the jet fighter pilot who used the napalm.
that's true. That was him.
It's uncredited. It says he's uncredited, but it's Clint Eastwood appears as the jet squadron leader.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and using using napalm right near the town. That was, but that just shows you how strong that beast was.
Yeah.
And typically of a 1950s movie of this type, always ends up with the hero and the heroine stood together, holding each other, staring at the monster in flames or the town in flames. The end. That's
Yeah.
always what they used to seem to do that in the 50s, the atomic age monster movies. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed it. It was something different, and it's got me into the spider mode. So you'll be interested to know what I've got planned for you next week, Susan.
Okay.
I'll keep it there for now.
Okay.
Mm. So yeah. So anything else, Susan, for
Um,
Tarantula?
the yeah, that was cool that they did the optical
Mm.
print with like the real spider stuff on it. Oh, the other thing speaking of the puke, there was all those huge white spots on the ground that were
Mhm.
like the size of you know rather large puddles. So that was fun. That kind of showed the size because of what, you know,
Devouring all the cattle.
devouring the cattle and the people
Yeah.
and the townspeople.
Yeah.
And the other thing that was really interesting was the fact that this was Clint Eastwood's first, I think one of his first movies ever. Um, he didn't get credit in the credits, but he did do something, and
Yeah. Blink and
you
you miss
know,
him, of course. Yeah.
yeah. But then the other thing was the that the scientists, his whole transformation where his eyes were moving, one was sliding down his face.
Yeah. Drooping.
It was very much like the fly.
You know what it reminded me of? I mean, it's roughly around the same period, I would say, one of the episodes of the Twilight Zone,
Oh
where
yeah.
they take the masks off and all the faces are.
Yeah, and it was also like the whole idea of cubism where you've got
Yeah.
two eyeballs.
Mm.
Yeah, that that yeah. Twilight Zone was, I just watched a whole retrospective on that show. That was where a lot of these ideas ended up, having growing some cultural legs, growing some popularity because it was such a good TV show. And it was just different every time you tuned in. So that was pretty interesting, fun. Um, let's see, other things. The the townspeople, they didn't know what they had going for them in the scientist. I mean, he'd almost created something like, I remember this Torchwood episode where this creature was kept in a warehouse that was just it just kept growing, and the meat was able to be
Yeah, it was called,
carved.
wasn't the episode called Meat?
Yeah, it was. So I mean, like that. There are some people who've taken this idea, this conceptual framework, and moved it way far ahead. And it's an idea. Uh, there was some of that in the old Doctor Who, the Green Death or the
Hmm.
Green Life on Big Finish because of the what they were creating food out of. But
Yeah, it's
then
strange.
Go ahead.
It's strange that this was experiments for the future of mankind. They were doing it for the good of
Uh-huh.
mankind, experimenting, and
Uh-huh.
typical of these sort of things. It's don't mess around, or you don't know what you're going to create, and that's typical of all these sort of movies back then.
Yeah.
So it's gone through the years, decades in other things, as you mentioned a few there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, you're doing it for the good of the world,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it backfires on you.
Yeah. And so that's why there are people around who still think science is more glitch than situational awareness, more failure than figuring it out. And a lot of those people happen to be running our government right now. I I I just can't tell you how weird it is for me to hear that measles is back and that people are talking about reinstitutionalizing folks like myself, folks with disabilities. That to these people are they must have watched something like this and lost their damn minds before entering into a position of authority. Whereas the scientist, unfortunately, he had a lot going for him, but
Mm.
he himself got jabbed, unfortunately, and then he not only that, the spider did too, and the spider wasn't part of his initial run of experiments, or if it was, he was supposed to be kept in the cage so that the growth
Yeah,
would stop there.
it was an experiment because it was in the glass case, but it was a huge tarantula, wasn't it? In the glass case. Once it got out into the open and started eating horses, cattle, humans, it got
Right,
bigger and bigger and bigger. So maybe
right.
that was affecting the nutritional vaccine.
Exactly. That's what you described it perfectly.
Mm.
That's the reason for the reason that the cage and the restricted intake was important for these things. I don't know. I just thought that and I also like the great big huge mouse that looked like a cat almost. It was like, holy smoke, that's a big
There
mouse.
was a rabbit, there was a guinea pig, a
The
rat.
guinea pig, that's what I was. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh, there were a lot of experiments going on. And it isn't always good to experiment on animals and people, but the guy did it to himself and to you know, this community. So, but it was still, he was doing it for good purposes.
Mm.
I think that, and I think that that's why bug movies are so great is that, there's always something that goes wrong. It's either nuclear or in this case, vaccination or inoculation, some sort of jab. I don't know. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
I do
But
like.
it's a good movie. Like in terms of like the elements of surprise, you don't know where the spider's going to be in the frame when it comes out, and when once it gets going, it's pretty much inexorable. So it's just interesting. It's such a
What
cool.
did make me laugh, what did make me laugh though was how 100-foot tall tarantulas walking around the desert and all down mountains and going to farmlands and nobody's seen it really. You there's only a few. Well, you
Yeah,
think you'd see that coming across the desert. And like,
You would
until
now, wouldn't you? Of
until near the end of the movie when everybody sees it, of course.
course. Yeah.
And I do like it with the cover of this. It is like one of the original like posters for the movie.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I mean, that never happened. This is what they used to do. It exaggerate the poster so you'd watch it. You
Right.
know,
But and you
well,
also have a woman in distress.
yeah. But also on the
The,
back, you've
the,
got the lead hero holding a gun and with a woman laid round his leg. That never happened in the movie. But that's what they used to do. They get people, get bums on seats in the theatres, make the poster look very exciting.
yep.
Should have done that with Wicked. She's not gonna. She's not gonna bite. She's not gonna bite.
Not not sorry.
Ooh.
I liked it.
So, anything else? Or shall we go final sentence score?
Um uh it was short. I did think like it was only 80 minutes or 77 minutes long or something like that.
1 hour, 1 hour, 17 minutes.
Yeah, 77 minutes
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
It was hard. I mean, it was hardly getting going when it was all over. I was like, oh my gosh.
But that's what they did back then. They didn't
I
have
know.
long. I think these days films are too long.
Huh.
You know,
Well,
sitting.
I felt like I was like I was just getting sucked in again, and
I mean, it could have done with another 10, 15 minutes. I would say added on to it.
mhm.
You know, maybe an hour and a half, an hour and 30 minutes. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it wasn't.
what else can you do with a 100 foot tarantula?
Don't know,
Because it would.
but it like I love that in that these things became kaiju in Japan. Uh, that that kind of makes me a happy camper whenever I think of that. Um, the the Toei group took B movies and put monster like real monsters in. This one was an actual like real like you were saying earlier in this cast an 100% real tarantula.
yeah.
I mean, yes, they're big, and yes, they are. You know, a lot creepy with the little eyes so close together and the big chompers and stuff. But
That could work. That worked so well.
I know it did. It was really cool that they also had like like it roaming around, but they could have had it, you know, walking into the city
Hmm.
and knocking over lampposts or something fun like that.
Well,
They
blame
did,
Connecticut for that.
yeah, I know. But yeah, first time I've seen this and first time, but they did take this idea of these particular spiders and they created like another whole uh film series about that are called lava lantulas, and
Hmm.
it's basically in the same universe as the Sharknadoes. And so there are these volcanic eruptions, and these spiders are touched by some of this stuff, and they grow, and and have, they follow the lava, they create pathways for the lava. Anyway, it's just so cool.
Cool.
It's so cool because there's some of those movies that my Alex likes that are so bad they're good. But this one's genuinely good, but those ones are so bad they're good, you know. But
Is there
the you
such
know,
thing as a so bad the good though? That's the
yeah,
it's
you gotta give it a chance. Sometimes anyway. Sometimes things are really bad, and Lee is perfectly willing to grade things under 5 for things that suck ass. Just
yeah,
FYI.
yes,
He does that. So
I do.
yeah. Uh I enjoyed it. It was the first time I'd seen it. And
So what would you rate it then?
I would rate this as a I'd rate this 8 out of 10 um trays of nutritional supplements out of 10. So that's where I'm laying.
I'm
And Lee, what is your final saying
I'm
score?
I'm going to agree on you. This it's an 8. It's 8 Clint Eastwoods with dropping napalm bombs out of 10. Um, it's just a fun watch and amazing camera work and you know visual effect makeup effects. Um, as you say, it's short. It's not too long, so you can sit through it and enjoy it. So that's our little review of Tarantula. Um, if you guys out there have seen it, because it's out there to be seen, let us know what you thought of it. Just leave a
Yeah, you
message
can
on.
watch it. You can watch it on YouTube. There's like I think the colorized version's on YouTube.
Hmm. Yeah, just let us know what you thought of it by leaving a message on this video. If you liked it or hated it, let us know. Because we always like to read other people's opinions. Also, message us on any of our videos if you like to be involved in what we do here. You just have to be 18 and over and have a working camera and microphone, and we'll get you on. Um, Simple as. It'd be nice to have other people getting involved. You
Yep.
know, because it's just me and Susan at the moment. Fighting it out every week. But yeah, get in touch. Just leave a message on the videos, and also as well, if you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, please remember to press the bell notification button every time we put up a video, because then you'll get notified. So that's it, isn't it, Susan?
Did you hear
No,
that?
no.
Yeah.
You never found your dinger.
I never found my dinger.
Oh, Susan's lost a dinger. It's better than losing your marbles. Um, but there again,
Oh
that's
my
the good
gosh.
Susan. Um, yeah, so that's it for another one. And we're going to call it a day on this one. Just remember, keep your nutritional values safe, levels safe, because you don't want to end up bloating, growing him big and big and big, because this is what could happen like that. So be warned. Bye for now.